Nilinaw kamakailan ng Bases Conversion and Development Authority o BCDA na walang data centers na itatayo bilang bahagi ng Pax Silica sa New Clark City sa Tarlac. Sa halip, nakatuon umano ang proyekto sa manufacturing para sa electronics at advanced technologies. Mahalagang tandaan na bago inilabas ang paglilinaw na ito ng BCDA, nakapanayam ko muna noong July 30 si Dr. Rene Claveria, isang geologist at environmental scientist sa Ateneo de Manila University. So magandang araw, Podmates! Nandito naman ako, Howie Severino, na may kasama tayong expert na panauhin. We are in the midst of a major transition in technology, AI and AI data centers, solar energy, electric vehicles. Lahat yan mga kailangan ng minerals, lots of them. The government has recently announced its participation in Pax Silica, an international initiative to boost supposedly AI-driven economic development. Controversial ito for a number of reasons, including its possible environmental impact. To help us understand what all this could mean for the Philippines, especially the need for certain kinds of minerals and their ecological impact, we have invited Dr. Rene Claveria, a geologist and environmental scientist with the Ateneo de Manila University. Magandang araw sa inyo, Dr. and Professor Claveria.
Magandang gabi pa sa inyo lahat.
Yeah. So Doc, basics muna, no? Kasi marami sa atin ngayon gumagamit ng AI, no? Nakikita lang natin yan sa screens or sa ating mga mobile phones, no? Baka may nagtataka, matakaw pala ang AI sa minerals, no? Bakit? Ano yung connection?
The comments and yung opinion ko rito ay on my own.
Yes.
Just for that. And yung stand ng Ateneo and my department, environmental science, is not is different from my own opinion and comments po. Sabihin na natin starting from a computer base to a way na mag-evolve ho yan to AI. So, it's not simple kasi sabi natin silicon, di ba? Silicon ang nagsisimula yung mga computer development natin. Pero actually, hindi lang silicon. Napakadami pong minerals and these are critical at some point na kasi kailangan na kailangan sa paggawa po ng mga AI data centers, computers, semiconductors, and a lot more.
Mhm. So saan po ginagamit yung minerals and what kind of minerals?
Okay, ang tawag namin dyan ay critical. Ang definition kasi ng critical is that it is very much needed in the production of certain important materials. So ang importanteng materials natin ngayon are the computers, so meron din sa military and other facilities na kailangan natin. So ang critical minerals niyan ay it depends po kung ano yung kinakailangan. Like I would say, for example po, copper is a critical mineral, nickel, cobalt, lithium, and also rare earth elements. Ito yung most common critical elements. Pero more likely there are other components na nadadagdag dyan. So more or less a very multi-elemental process ang kailangan ilagay ho sa processing na ho yan.
Okay, so this revolutionary technology now na ginagamit ngayon ng marami AI, no? All kinds of applications ng artificial intelligence, no? Ano pala yan, no? Nangangailangan ng napakalaking data centers, no? Bakit?
Ngayon kasi we are evolving into so much computing and so much speed. And more likely we need so much power to have this moving. So actually, yung AI is an evolution from a simple data accumulation. Siya na mismo nag-iisip para sa atin. Parang yan ang concept naman ng AI, artificial intelligence. So it is a data accumulation throughout the years that helps us do what we want to research on, to observe, and so on. So, nandyan na siya.
So, bakit maraming nababahala ngayon sa mga AI data centers, no? Hindi
Ah,
sa Pilipinas kundi sa maraming bansa, no? And may mga nagre-react ng mga komunidad. It's a big debate
yeah.
now, no? Of course, everyone is using AI. It's important now in many sectors. But at the same time, to have AI, you need these big data centers na medyo dinedebate ng maraming communities kung iwi-welcome nila yan o hindi. Bakit maraming nababahala dyan? I mean, magkakaroon daw ng environmental impact itong mga malalaking data centers sa atin.
Yeah, that's a valid concern po. Actually, if you look into other AI infrastructures na sa buong mundo, madami yan sa US eh. Actually, may narinig nga ako na kapag ang data centers nila ilalagay sa residential areas eh.
Mm.
And actually, totoo yung valid concerns na about water, about energy, and about noise. Actually, sa akin no, totoo yan. These are very big infrastructures na kung tutuusin eh, it occupies land kasi kailangan natin ilagay lahat ng data doon. And also uses a lot of water for cooling system
Mhm.
and also energy to run the computers.
Mhm.
Kasi the faster you get to a computing phase, mas madaming energy ang kailangan mo. And the more energy you use, the more heat you produce. And the more heat you produce, you have to cool down the entire
Mhm.
system by water. So,
Mhm.
yun ang cycle nun. So, yun ang problema. And the other thing about that is that saan nyo kukunin yung mga water, energy, and how will you protect yourselves from noise? This is a pollutant yan eh. So, napakahirap po. So, I think these are valid environmental concerns and I think we have to address them. Ako nga, we have to address them at that early phase rather than being reactive.
So balikan natin yung Paxilica dahil yung
Yeah,
Paxilica
yeah.
nga yung isang malaking economic initiative ng Marcos administration na binanggit din, tinalakay doon sa nakaraang SONA ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos.
The Pac Silica Industrial Hub will create an ecosystem that will have AI at its core. It will bring quality jobs to our people, accelerate our industrial competitiveness, and revitalize our economy.
So ano yung opinion nyo doon?
Yeah, actually yung information na nagagather ko ay ito ay isang industrial zone sabihin na natin sa New Clark City. And apparently one of the infrastructures to be built there will be the mineral processing or the critical mineral processing. I have some comments on this kasi Sir Howie, are you familiar with Pasar? Pasar in Leyte.
Yes, yes.
The smelter and refining for copper.
Mm-mm. Matagal na yan.
Tagal na yan. Marcos
Exactly.
senior pa yan.
Oo.
Actually, it is the same concept that if I look into it that will be developed in the New Clark City. It is a refining and smeltering plant. And if you look into the environmental effect of this Pasar area, kamuntik na sila magsara dahil sa environmental concerns niyan. They produce a lot of toxicity during the processing of smelting of copper. So copper is a critical mineral as well. So I am looking into this effect or of Pasar and equating it to something that might happen in the mineral processing sa sa Pac Silica. Ayan. There will be a lot of problems related to toxicity, pollution, and other things. Similarly with nickel, kapag sinasabi, kasi sabi nila, hindi naman tayo magmimina ng nickel sa Clark. Siyempre, hindi tayo magmimina doon. But We provide them the raw materials that they will be smelting or refining, but still smelting and refining would produce a lot of this toxicity, which actually have an effect on the environment as well as the communities surrounding it po.
Pero Doc, itong sinasite nyo na PASAR, yung copper smelting na ginagawa or ginawa doon sa Leyte, no? Nag-umpisa yan nung panahon pa ng unang Marcos administration,
Yes,
yung panahon ng martial law, di ba?
Opo.
So you're telling me, baka hindi nag-improve yung technology, yung process na yan? That's like 40 years ago. So, considering the changes in technology in so many other areas, dito sa smelting na maaring gagawin dito sa Clark, maaring ganun din ang magiging effect, maaring hindi na nag-improve yung technology para maiwasan yung worst effects niyan.
Yeah, I read a few metallurgical processes po kapag smelting and refining po naman. Yung smelting kasi sa PASAR, you produce 99.99% copper. It's almost perfect. So meaning the process of smelting and refining is maayos na. Maayos na yan. So I don't know any technology that could equate into a product which is 99.99% copper eventually. So if I have to see the process to be sufficient, yun din ang gagawin nila dun sa PAC Silica. Otherwise, if I'm wrong, if I admit that, there could be some new technologies involved in the processing po.
Yeah.
So, medyo kabado lang po ako doon sa critical mineral processing doon sa PAC Silica po. Medyo kailangan tignan natin po na maayos kung ano po yung environmental concern. Ang always thinking ko po is that we start right and not be reactive towards the operation of the project po.
Napansin ko, Doc, no, in considering how important mining and minerals are, especially these critical minerals, to these new economic initiatives, hindi binanggit ni President Marcos ang mining sa kanyang SONA. But if sabi nyo nga na if PAC Silica is a major project or initiative of the government, talagang may kaakibat yon na mining na kailangan mangyari because it's going to need critical minerals for that to get off the ground.
That's correct po. We need mining and a bit of processing para magkaroon tayo ng what we call high value chain flow ng mga what are required of the data center. So it starts from mining to produce the components and produce the data center, AI data center po. So kailangan po address din yung mining component po. Ang tingin ko rin kasi po, the PAC Silica is also a place wherein other minerals from other countries will be pouring into para i-process po doon. So it's not only our minerals na nandito sa Pilipinas, it's also the other minerals from abroad. So I don't know how much we can contribute as a mining perspective, but the contribution from what we call this imports or nililipat sa atin, gaano kadami rin ang mangyayaring ibibigay at ipaprocess po.
Kayo, Doc, kasi I know PAC Silica is more of a policy issue, and I know you're a scientist, although you've seen the effects of policy in the field. So yun din ang nakuha ko rito sa conversation na to, na you've kayo as a geologist, most geologists actually would want to see more mining. The more mining, the more work you're going to have, di ba? So I'm kind of I find it interesting that you want the country to be very cautious when it comes to mining. Oo, kasi you've seen it.
Yeah.
Pero yung sinasabi nyo dito sa Pax Silica, ay it's going to require a lot of minerals and possibly a lot of mining in the Philippines. Pero ang sinasabi nyo rin, di naman lahat ng mga ipoprocess dito sa establishment na gagawing sa New Clark City ay kakailanganin yung minerals na galing Pilipinas. You're
Yeah,
saying
that's correct.
that even other countries can send their minerals to the Philippines for processing. That's part of the concept of Pax Silica.
That's correct. I-share ko rin kasi sa Pax Silica, yung environmental concern related to water, actually, ay nababanggit po ng local government, yung in charge sa ano tawag na, BCDA. They are going to take water from rivers that drain towards the area. Then hindi daw nila gagalawin yung groundwater or water supply ng communities.
Yes.
I'm doubtful with that kasi one, we have the El Nino phenomenon, so sigurado magkakatuyot yung mga ilog din natin, magkaka-deplete yung mga groundwater resources natin. So there has to be an independent source of water para dyan sa Pax Silica if it is to operate properly po. And also energy. It's a valid concern po. Depende sa laki po ng data center na yan, which requires a lot of water to cool the system. I foresee yung nangyari sa what you call this, somewhere in South America, na naglagay ho yata ng data center doon. Naubusan ho sila ng tubig.
Mhm.
At kasi it's not only being used but also during the dry season, drought and so on. So mahirap i-estimate yung stability of water supply po unless they have sufficient pwedeng source of water na stable po yung flow.
Mhm.
So yun ang issue rin po kung saan nila kukunin.
Mhm. So water is going to be a big issue in Pax Silica kasi if it's also going to lead to an increase in mining because of the need for critical minerals, maapektuhan talaga yung water supplies natin because of pollution and the processing is going to require water as well, 'di ba?
Yeah.
And then if we start setting up data centers, kakailanganin din ng tubig para sa mga
Opo.
makinarya, 'di ba? So water is going to be a big issue. Nabanggit nyo na yung the need for energy. Of course, power plants will also need water, 'di ba? To
Opo.
cool
Yeah.
down
Yes.
the machineries. That's another big environmental issue that we'll be facing. And then sabi nyo nga, I mean, we're also facing El Nino.
Yeah.
So,
That's
oo.
true.
So, parang kakaroon ng perfect storm of these yeah, these possible impacts on us, no? May El Nino and then this industrial thirst for water.
Yeah.
And then parang there's no clear plan where to get the water. Kasi nga
Yes.
ang ngayon ang narinig natin kukunin daw sa rainwater or and surface water pero para lang sa communities kinukulang na yun eh.
Oo nga, kinukulang na talaga.
Mhm.
That's correct.
Mhm.
I think if we study the other areas where they have data centers, I think it would help us estimate kung ano ang kailangan natin para sa Pax Silica. There are a lot of areas already developed elsewhere dito sa buong mundo na meron data centers diyan na malalaki.
Mhm.
And let's look into their problems.
Mhm.
Let's look into their concerns. Let's look into their needs. Siguro, kapag alam na natin yon, we can actually equate that to the Pax Silica here ito sa Pilipinas. Sa size niya, sa concerns natin, and other things that might require those data centers. Otherwise po, for me, kung hindi natin naman magagawa lahat yon, siguro i-double check natin if we really need to have that Pax Silica doon sa New Clark City po.
So you would urge a rethinking of it.
Yeah, I think we need to, yeah. Well, it's always my policy or my prinsipyo na we start right rather than magsisisi tayo sa huli. Parang ganun ko ang gusto ko. So, kung tama ang ginawa natin sa simula, okay na. Siguro lesser yung problema natin sa susunod na operation. Ako naman hindi ako against sa PAC Silica if I have to be honest with myself. Pero we have to do it the properly po. Hindi basta-basta na kung nyari, if I know na siguro we'll get a lot of jobs, a lot of benefits, and so on. In the long run, baka malulugi pa rin ho tayo. So we have to equate or to balance all of those things po.
So sinabi niyo kanina, we should look at other places where data centers may have had minimal environmental impact and could where the benefits actually outweigh the costs, no? Environmental costs, no? May alam ba kayong ganon? Meron bang data center sa ibang lugar na that can be a model for the Philippines? May bansa ba na pwedeng maging modelo para sa Pilipinas bago tayo nga magsimulang magtayo ng mga malalakihang data center na posibleng yung gamitin yung napakaraming tubig, etc.
To be honest Sir Howie, wala akong model na successful po. What I see and what I have read are all the negatives po in having a data center. But if you can address those negatives, yun ang sinasabi ko kanina, bakit hindi? Okay lang siguro. But if we cannot, siguro we have to double think. Pag-isipan ulit natin.
Well, yun ang isang dilemma lagi, no? Pag may bagong technology, gusto nating gamitin lahat. Everyone wants to use AI, but nobody wants to host a data center.
Nobody.
Yeah,
Actually, nobody
it's
nga.
very controversial nga. Maraming communities na may ayaw niyan kasi nga for all these reasons that you cited, pero at the same time, lahat tayo gustong gumamit ng, lahat ng
Yeah.
AI technologies, 'di ba? Ganun din. ayaw ko rin ng environmental damage ng nickel mining, but ako mismo meron akong electric vehicle, 'di ba? So yun yung sinasabi yung irony, 'di ba, Doc?
Irony pa,
Yan
yeah,
ang isang
irony,
malaking
yeah.
irony sa ating mundo ngayon na itong mga sinasabing green technologies or environment-friendly technologies ay may malaking environmental impact din na maaaring hindi natin
Opo.
masyadong iniisip.
Opo. That's correct. Opo.
Yeah.
Yung kwan lang, I want to repeat what I mentioned na poverty alleviation, development, competing with environmental protection.
Oh, kayo mismo sinabi niyo sa isang talk sa Manila Observatory last year, no, na may irony na nagmimina tayo para sa green technology components, no? Itong mga electric vehicles, no, are supposed to be better for the environment because they're not burning fossil fuels, no? What did you mean by this irony?
Actually, if I quote what I mentioned, the irony is that we destroy what is meant to be protected. We destroy what is meant to be protected. So I'm talking about more likely deforestation, land, and also the pollution, the communities. So actually, in order for us to get minerals in general, not only critical, we can get a lot of these minerals for our purpose, development. We have to destroy a bit of what nature has provided us. Yun ang concept nun eh. So, the thing here is that we can do some preventive measures to do this, and to do that is to have a complete good information on what will happen and what are the risks involved. I believe that if we are able to do something that is on equal footing, like development and protection of the environment, that will be sustainable. But at some point kasi there's some imbalance. One can be heavier like mining, which actually destroys the environment. And actually that's the sacrifice of the process. No? So it is like you choose from economic development and poverty alleviation against protection of the environment. So, di ba, we need to develop for poverty alleviation. So, that's the sacrifice. So, it's really hard to weigh
Yeah.
the balance on it.
So, ang Pilipinas ay nasa crossroads ngayon, ano? Kasi may ganitong kalaking technological transition, from fossil fuels to electric vehicles, solar energy, and then AI, which are going to require particular kinds of yung sinasabi niyo ng critical minerals. And then nagkataon, mayaman tayo sa mga ibang minerals na to. However, mayaman din tayo sa biodiversity and then sa ating karagatan and then yung lupa natin napakayaman din in terms of fertility, so we're able to grow a lot of different crops, no? So itong sinasabi niyo ng trade-off na para makuha natin yung mga minerals na yan, may masisira talaga, no?
Yeah, apa.
So ang tanong ko, Doc, no? Kasi maliit na bansa lang naman tayo in terms of land area at saka ang laki ng populasyon, no? Kung sinasabi niyong parang unavoidable na magkakaroon talaga ng environmental cost, no? Itong pagmimina, especially if we accelerate it to satisfy the new demand for these critical minerals. Do we really need to mine in the Philippines? Hindi ba natin pwedeng kunin yung mga minerals na yan sa ibang bansa? Bakit kailangan natin magmina mismo sa Pilipinas?
Okay, yung concept kasi na we have our own minerals, why won't we use it? Ang cost, ang titignan natin, mas mahal siguro.
Mhm.
The thing here is kasi, nabanggit ko ninyo, we are blessed and we benefit from our own resources. Ang kaso nga rin lang is that ito yung trade-off natin. Aside from the environment, kailangan pa rin natin i-process yung mga minerals na yan. Kahit kukunin natin dito, ipaprocess pa rin ho yan. Ang masama, pinapadala pa natin sa abroad, then ipaprocess nila doon, then bibilhin din natin yung finished product para magamit ho natin. So, parang uh, parang nalugi tayo kung sabihin natin in a bigger, broader concept po. So, sa amin no, as a geologist, and if I look into the mining industry po natin, para kung may kulang tayo sa flow na yon. We mine, pero at some point yung raw materials natin ay nawawala, pinapadala natin abroad. Uh, ang kung titingnan natin yung mining industry, and I also have their own perspectives, they perceive na gusto nilang magkaroon ng processing dito sa atin. So I go beyond the mining. Kailangan din natin i-process yung minerals para tayo na mismo ang gumamit sa na-process natin materials. So yun ang kulang at some point. So yun nga, kung ibebenta natin yung raw materials, bibili din natin yung finished product eventually. So medyo sa tingin ko, medyo paikot na palugi tayo doon po.
So Doc, ikwento ko lang no, na galing akong Sibuyan Island na sa Romblon Province, kung saan dinidebate ngayon ang pagmimina kasi they are an island with one of the highest degrees of endemicity, yung biodiversity, yung unique plants and animals, no, na dun lang talaga sa Sibuyan nabubuhay. Marami silang may mga puno, may mga hayop, halaman na dun lang talaga makikita sa planeta. And then they also pride themselves in having some of the purest rivers, no? Napakalinis daw ng yung mga ilog nila, no? However, mayaman din sila sa nickel. Kaya may mga malalaking kumpanya na nagpupursiging mag-apply ng permit. Hinaharang ngayon ng mga ibang komunidad, no? Tinututulan nila, no? So there's a big debate, there's a lot of tension on that island, no? Na ngayon sinasabi niyo, Doc, no, na meron tayong minerals, why not use it, and then use it for poverty alleviation to help us develop as an economy. However, i-share ko lang, which you've probably heard from a lot of your own field research, no, na sinasabi naman ng mga communities, nakuha nga yung minerals, pero nadudumihan naman yung tubig natin. Nasisira yung lupa. Nawawalan din ng hanap buhay yung mga magsasaka. So, at saka, sino ba talagang yumayaman dyan? Di ba? Kayo, Doc, what do you think of that trade-off?
Aside from environmental trade-offs natin, may nasisira rin talaga yung mga communities natin. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng mga anti-mining perception ho yan. So actually, it's a legal and a valid concern that I think everybody or the mining company should appreciate it. So the thing about mining kasi is that talagang sisirain ho niya yung lupa, ko-contaminate niya yung water para makuha yung mga minerals. Then eventually, bebenta niya yon. Then he gets the profit, the mining company. The taxes should be dapat napupunta sa communities that are affected. Yun ang dapat na mangyayari. Tama ho kayo, napupunta sa national government. Then ang national government nagbibigay lang ng porsyento sa mga local communities that are affected. So wala ho sa balance ko yan. Pero ang supposedly the framework ko niyan is that if you mine from a certain area, the taxes and benefits should be given to that area that is affected by the mining process. So I think we have to look into that again. I'm also involved sa EIA process kasi po.
Yung environmental
So,
impact assessment.
Impact assessment process.
Oo.
So I've seen a lot of these proposals to open new mines. And actually, I can also hear from public consent that there are a lot of negative perspective on this. Which I think, kung hindi ma-resolve po naman ng mining company ang mga concerns, kailangan din isara o hindi na ituloy. So, ganun lang naman eh. So, actually, the EIA process, if I have to share with you, has to be robust, has to be truthful, honest, and hindi nakukorap at some point. Ang hirap kasi rito, paminsan siyempre, kapag malaki yung company, sometimes pinabibigyan natin mga gano'n. So, hindi dapat gano'n.
So Doc, just to share with our audience na baka hindi lahat familiar doon sa sinasabi niyong environmental impact assessment process, no? Medyo it sounds technical, but essentially, Doc, no, it's just a requirement for companies to go through para ma-assess o matingnan kung ano yung magiging environmental impact ng kanilang commercial activity. Halimbawa, mining, pwede ring, it could be a power plant, it could be other kinds of major infrastructure. Titingnan din yung ano yung magiging impact ng project bago ma-approve, right?
Yeah.
So, pagdating sa
Correct.
mining, halimbawa sa EIA, ina-assess yung potential environmental impact ng isang mining project. Kailan ba natin masasabing masyadong malaki yung environmental cost or impact, kaya wag na lang payagan?
Yeah, there are a lot of parameters po. So ang tinitignan natin doon po ay yung water is one factor po yan. Kung nasisira ho yung groundwater system, river system natin, tapos wala hong mitigating measures na pinopropose just in case na masira, yon yung land mismo, kung if it's agricultural, or if it is for industrial purposes, so kinitignan din natin yon. Yung forest, yung biodiversity, yung effect niya sa ocean, and also yung how big the mining process would be. So kasi yung size nun will also be a factor considering that the more it would have an effect on the different factors na na-mention ko earlier. So kapag affected ho lahat yon in a negative way, there's a big chance na hindi ho matutuloy supposedly yung project po.
Mhm.
So as part of the EIA process sa team namin, we actually provide them the information na dapat ganito, dapat ganyan ang gawin ninyo. But if they are not, they are unable to produce the supposedly the things that is really needed to address the issues, ay hindi na lang itutuloy po. So, yun ang dapat tinitingnan ho namin.
So where have you seen this problem? I guess in its worst case, no? Ano ba yung mga lugar na nakita nyo na talaga nagkaroon ng malaking problema sa pollution dahil sa mining?
Oh, I think I've seen one, but I think it could be applied to other similar mines. Nickel po. Yung nickel mining po kasi natin is a surface mining po kasi yan. The raw materials are the topsoil, yung above soil na laterite, they call it. Nickeliferous laterites. Materials that they are what you're mining and apparently exporting abroad. So, kasi soil ho yan, nagkakaroon ng sedimentation. Kung wala ho silang sedimentation pond, pupunta ho yan sa mga river systems, napupulyot ho yan. Then, the river systems, kapag hindi po napigilan yon, diretso ho yan sa ocean. So makikita ho ninyo, at some point nakakita rin po ako, na ang tubig dyan ay pula. Kasi kulang siguro ng mga sedimentary ponds. Umaabot na yung pulang kulay na tubig sa ocean, sa mga pier and so on. So they have to put in some what we call protective measures para yung sediments ay hindi ho pupunta sa mga dagat natin and so on.
Doc,
So,
you're talking about nickel mining in particular.
nickel mining.
Oo.
Nickel mining.
Kasi mayaman ang Pilipinas sa nickel, no? Alam natin
Yeah.
may mga nickel mining sa Palawan, and malapit na rin yata magsimula sa Sibuyan kasi nga yan ang ina-applyan na permission ng isang malaking mining company sa Sibuyan. So posible mangyari din yun sa Sibuyan kung matuloy nga yung kanilang
yeah.
mining project.
Yeah, kung nickel laterites po, definitely magkakaroon ng problema on sedimentation. Kasi yung pulang material na yan, hindi mo naman makokontrol until you have sedimentary ponds. Ang tawag lake ho yun. Doon mo ilalagay yung lahat ng mga waste na red soil para hindi ho umapaw sa ilog. Kapag umapaw na yan sa ilog, contaminated na po yan. Also, nickel laterites is not only sediments po na may nickel. Meron din other minerals or elements that are kasama po doon. So, nagiging toxic kung sabihin natin yung mga ilog natin. Buti sana kung sediments lang, pero mayroon din elements that are chemically toxic and actually are more dangerous than siguro perceive natin na pula na ilog pero toxic din pala.
And you're referring particularly to nickel mining.
Nickel lang po.
Oo.
Nickel, cobalt.
So nagkakaroon ng toxic, ginagawang toxic yung tubig.
Meron kasi mga elements po sa nickel laterite na pwede yung maging reactive sa tubig. Nade-dissolve po yun, tapos nagiging toxic yung tubig po.
And nickel laterite, is that the dominant kind of nickel sa atin?
Yes, we have a lot of those nickel laterites. Ito yung pulang lupa na very high in nickel, iron, cobalt, and chromium. Yan pinapadala ko natin sa other countries to be processed po. Although, Meron din tayong mga processing plants dito sa Pilipinas, pero konti pa lang.
And how important is nickel and nickel laterites to these new technologies, to
Oh, yeah.
electric vehicles, to solar batteries, so AI, data centers, etc.
Yeah, nickel is a critical mineral. Kasi ginagamit ho yan sa batteries, sa sa EV, ano,
Sa
sa
electric
mga
vehicle
vehicles natin.
batteries.
Vehicles, sa batteries.
Oo.
Kasi ang nickel, meron din cobalt ho yan. So we have a nickel cobalt, we call this a mixture, na kapag pre-process ho yan, ay magiging input sa batteries ho natin. So actually malaking bagay ho ang nickel for batteries. It is also used for steel, pag sa bakal. Ginagamit din yan sa stainless steel. Kasi alloy ho yan eh. Ginagamit din kakombine ng mga bakal and other metals para maging alloy. So other than battery, meron din siyang other products that can be used for. So ang primary purpose ho niyan with cobalt ay for batteries po and lithium. Idagdagan na lang po ng lithium. So nickel lithium batteries po sa EV vehicles po
So
natin.
yun ang sinasabi yung irony, Doc, no? Because itong electric vehicles are being hyped as the green technologies
Yeah.
of the future, green transport. And then of course dahil sa gera sa Iran, at yung instability nga ng mundo ngayon ay hindi na secure yung oil supplies, no? So nagtaasan na yung presyo ng kuryente, yung gasolina, diesel, etc. And then the government itself is encouraging the transition to electric vehicles, no? Pero ang sinasabi nyo, these electric vehicles also need this mineral because it's the one of the primary components of the batteries in these electric
Batteries.
vehicles. But this mineral, to get it out of the earth, ay nagkakaroon ng malaking environmental impact. So yun ang sinasabi nyo na to satisfy the demand for these supposedly green technologies, we're going to need to mine this particular mineral, itong critical mineral na nickel, which causes all kinds of environmental impacts. Pinupollute yung tubig, nag-introduce ng toxic materials sa lupa, etc. Yun ang sinasabi niyong irony.
Yeah, tama ko kayo that. I think that's the concept behind yung green technology is actually may kasi ano to kasamang problema sa environment po. Parang-
So Doc, how rich is the Philippines in critical minerals, and in particular the nickel that's needed for electric vehicles?
I think we have a significant deposits of nickel laterites. If I can name some of the provinces, we have in Zambales, we have I think somewhere in Cagayan area, meron din sa Bicol area, meron sa Palawan, meron sa Mindoro, meron sa Antique, meron din sa I think Samar, if I'm not mistaken, Surigao,
Dami.
also in Davao.
All over.
Oh, ang dami.
Oo.
All over pa. All over.
So in a way, if you just consider yung sinasabi niyong environmental effects nito, it's as much a curse as it is a blessing.
Well, yun nga siguro, you're right on that. If we can find a way to mine it in a way to a minimal cost to the environment, better sana. Pero I don't know what are the different ways of mining nickel appropriately for lesser environmental damage po.
Pero dahil kayo nga yung isa sa leading experts nga on critical minerals, pag tinatanong kayo, is there a way of mining this in a responsible or sustainable way, ano yung sinasagot nyo, Doc?
Mahirap na tanong yan, Sir Howie. Uh, well, I think if you start a mine or monitor it, it has to have this. I go back again to this assessment which I've been mentioning a while ago. They have to be strictly implemented, strictly imposed. Dapat may ngipin tayo eh. We have to put in transparency in what all they do. Then we put in pollutants must pay or penalties, and apparently abiding to all the requirements that are needed. Kaya kailangan natin siguro lagyan pa ng ngipin ang mga provisions natin on this. By the way, Sir Howie, I'm working on phytoremediation. That is after mining, especially in nickel laterites. I also look for a way to reforest it. Ang tawag ko doon ay using plants to remediate the abandoned mine.
So nabasa nga namin, sir, no, na yun ang isa sa inyong research fields, no, yung itong sinasabi yung remediation.
Remediation.
Yeah, which is a long word to basically, which basically means using plants to absorb the heavy metals in the environment, no? Like arsenic, copper, and nickel nga na naiiwan nitong mina, no? So it's used in rehab. Kasi anong nangyayari,
Yeah.
Doc, no? We know that para magmina, kailangan tanggalin yung vegetation at yung mga puno. And then, pag naubos na yung minerals, yung naiiwan doon, medyo toxic at
Opo.
mahirap nang gamitin yung lupa, right?
Opo.
So kayo, yung isang expertise nyo ay dito sa research nga ng phytoremediation using plants to help rehabilitate the earth, no? So ang
Yeah.
tanong ko, Doc, meron na bang success story diyan? I mean, is there like a prototype or a demo kung pwedeng bisitahin ng mga communities or mining companies para makita na itong successful use of plants to absorb and these metals and rehabilitate land that has been mined?
The first thing about mining nickel is we require the company to remove the topsoil. Yung topsoil, ito nasa assessment po to. Tatanggalin yung topsoil na fertile, itatambak lang ho sa isang lugar. So, ibig sabihin po, kapag natapos na yung minahan nila, ibabalik nila ho yung topsoil. Para yung topsoil, hindi ho toxic ho yun, tutubo ulit yung mga halaman. But ang cases naman is that hindi nila nagagawa ho yun. So, ang nangyayari po, ang naiiwan ay mga toxic materials after mining.
And then, marami na kayong nakitang lupain na mined out, no? Anong itsura nila? Are they being used in any way in a productive capacity? Itong namina na lupa?
Yan yung minina noon. Naubos ho yung mga precious metals and other mineable minerals. Tapos iniwan na lang. Yan yung legacy mines na sinasabi namin na hindi dapat mangyari sa ngayon. Kasi those are old processes na iniwan na lang. Kaya ang itsura niya ay isang butas.
So Doc, since you're an expert in this field, no, and you know the possible impacts of mining these critical minerals, and we were just talking about nickel and what it can do to water supplies and rivers, no. Ngayon na ating gobyerno and and governments around the world are encouraging the shift to technologies like electric vehicles that will require nickel and these other critical minerals, no, how worried are you for our environment?
If mining companies are so greedy, siguro miminahin niya lahat. Lahat ng minention kong probinsya, siguro miminahin yan. But I think we have to have a sense of sustainability. Ang definition naman ng sustainability is that you provide your own, but you also provide something for the future generation. Yun ang sustainability naman ang definition niya. So I think for me, if we have a resource for nickel, siguro naman hindi natin miminahin lahat ng mga nickel. Lalagyan lang natin ng limit in a way na to produce the appropriate number of batteries that is appropriate to the number of vehicles naman na gagamitin. So, I go back to the concept of greediness and sustainability. So, this is the only way to, well, na-mention po niyo how to address environmental concerns and also the way of appropriately developing our nation. Medyo kasi kapag grid tayo, it will be sisirain natin lahat ng mga nandito sa atin. So I think I'll go back to that two concepts of grid and sustainability po.
Yeah. Well, of course, no, ang hirap tantyahin ang hirap i-quantify yung greed, 'di ba?
Yun nga.
Ano yan, parang pagkaswapang, 'di ba? But
Swapang.
but I guess it also depends on government and communities how much they will allow also. Kasi nga, if we leave it up to companies, companies are just driven by the profit motive mostly, 'di ba? I guess it's the customers, the public, the communities that are restraining them from just maximizing their profit at the cost of everything. No? So I guess much will depend on how the public reacts, and how they will react will depend on the information they receive. At dapat siguro bago ma-approve at simulan yung mga ganyang proyekto ay suriin ng mabuti at konsultahin ang mga eksperto katulad ninyo, di ba? Yan kasi madalas nangyayari na gagawa ng proyekto na hindi nagkokonsulta at kung ano-anong nangyayari, di ba? That's why importante din yung regulation dito at yung mga proseso katulad ng environmental impact assessment.
Apa.
Yeah.
Gusto ko yan sana ipahiwatig sa mga gumagawa po ng eventual process ng PAC Silica is that sana they can be more transparent and be more abiding to the EIA process po. Kasi yun ang simula wag tayong mag-construct or gagawa na ng infrastructure tapos magsisisi na naman tayo sa huli po.
We want to thank you, Dr. Rene Claveria, no, for sharing your expertise and your knowledge about critical minerals and their possible environmental impact on the Philippines, on our environment, and on the planet as a whole. So, maraming salamat sa inyong oras for sharing.
Thank you very much, Sir Howie. It's an opportunity for me to share what I think and what are my perspectives and how I see things around po.
Thank you, Podmates, for listening and watching until the very end of this podcast. Alam nyo na, nakakatalino ang mahabang attention span. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and binge watch our episodes. Mabuhay kayo at ingat lagi.